Hi Mech fans! Welcome to my channel. For this video, we're doing something different. I'm gonna first give you my thoughts on the upcoming Ninjago sets. All of these are just my opinions about the sets. I don't know anything about the story or lore of Ninjago. I just like building the sets. Second part of this video, I will share some of the ideas I came up with to improve the mech. I hope to help you decide what set to buy and how to modify it. Lastly, please like this video if you found it helpful and subscribe to my channel for more mech videos. Let's start with Jay's Mech Battle Pack. I really like the small mech build. It is a good design for those who like to start building mech with pilots. It has good articulation and basic weapons. The back is a bit bare. I like the gold pieces on the shoulders. Those are really good armor pieces. The spear is appropriate to the size of the mech. It also has projectiles. I do like to move one stud shooter to the other arm. Then I'll add a clip to the left arm so that the mech can hold the spear on both sides. I also like the minifigure design of this wave. It has an armored look and is suitable for piloting a mech. I might make a bigger mech for Jay with the same scale as the others have. I hope LEGO release a battle pack that has a smaller mech like Jay's but for the enemies. Like, for enemy grunts and one mech. I would buy that. The next sets that we'll check are the Rising Dragon sets. All three sets has similar parts, but what I'm interested are the dragon heads. The dragon head have hollow eyes. Previous dragon heads always had pupil details, which made it look too organic for me. I like these new ones cause these look like armor pieces. The new large gold piece also caught my eye. I saw it has bars on both ends and thought that it could be a good armor detail. It is symmetrical and can be used as back of the shoulders, side skirts or a shield. Oran's battle mech is designed for kids 4+, so I didn't expect much. It's a good set if you don't have the Orin minifigure or you like to get more side builds for a diorama. As for the mech, it has that golden shuriken and the torso pieces. I would get Jay's battle pack if you want a mech. Kai's Source Dragon Battle set is another +4 set. I like the catapult. That is a good projectile and looks well built. Another thing I like was the body piece of the dragon. It has a space for the cockpit and can be used for those Jerwalk style mech. I also like the design of the unique minifigure. Eagle the Master Dragon set look cool for me. I like the design and details of Eagle. I'm not sure if I'll get it now due to my budget, but it would be cool to try to make Eagle a bipedal dragon. I don't think I can make an alternative mech build using the set, but those wings looks cool and can be used for a barbarian theme mech. It has great armor pieces used in its tail. The red cloth on its arms can be used for detailing a medieval mech. Let's go now to the sets I really want to get. The mech sets. Let's start with Lloyd's Elemental Power Mech. For some reason, this doesn't have a 360 view video and we can see the back of the mech. For me, the colors work well together. It has two melee weapons. And has a reptilian vibe. It's the only mech that has thumbs. It's also the set that has the least number of the new armor piece. Based on the images, it only has one, which is weird. I do hope the other piece is at the back. I wonder if it has a gimmick that lets us flip the helmet up. All the mech sets has same torso design with little changes to make it unique for each mech. It also has a new ratchet piece. The set also has Naya with the same minifigure design. I'll make Naya a mech if I get this set. Next, Let's talk about Sora's elemental tech mech. I like the color scheme. It's taller than Kai's mech by one stud due to the design of the foot. It only has one pair of the new armor piece. I wished it had another pair due to its gold color. It's an awesome color for Ninjago mech. I would have traded the side build for another pair. The back of the mech is also bare. As the mech has the tech on its name, I would expected it to have more tech. Like thrusters at the back. It was a great way to add another pair of the new armor and give the mech a speed-type look as the mech only uses light melee weapons such as blades and a shuriken. They could also added a projectile to it. I would get this mech for those gold armor pieces or if I want to improve it using the Sora's transforming bike or vice versa. Now this is a bruiser type mech. Cole's elemental earth mech is my favorite. I like the stout stance and ready for battle vibe. Each arm uses two SCCBS pieces to make it wider. I like the translucent pentagon pieces. The weapon is a bit plain and could use more rugged look. It has 4 pieces of the new armor. 2 built in the shoulder and 2 in the knee held by Technic bars. The new armor can really be attached using different methods. The back is plain. I would put a ranged weapon there. Like a magma cannon and thrusters. Legs are fixed at 90-degree angle bend and has a clip to store the minifigure's weapon. The stout legs fits the build. I would make a similar knee design to keep the vibe. Last, we have Kai's elemental fire mech. It has 2 mech and 4 minifigures. Kai's mech has 4 pieces of the new armor set. The design is great as it's between Cole's bulky mech and Sora's slender mech. It does need a bit of more gold or another color to break the red. The weapon is simple and cool. The set is more expensive compared to the other 3 mech sets because of the smaller mech. I do like it as it has basic articulation and is easy to modify. It also has good parts if I want to make a J or Nias mech. Same with the other mech sets, there is nothing at the back. I would add some thrusters to make it look agile and maybe a weapon storage for the sword. Now here's my ranking for the mech sets. Honorable mention for Jay's Mech Battle Pack. Good for beginners and great to upgrade like adding ankles and armor. Fourth in my list is Sora's Elemental Tech Mech. It has good design but it lacks something compared to the other sets. It only have 2 new armor pieces and felt it was less exciting compared to the other sets. It's good if you want to upgrade it or you plan to combine it with the transforming bike set. In that scenario this could move to 3rd place. Lloyd's Elemental Power Mech is higher on my list because this set has more useful pieces even though it only has 1 piece of the new armor. I do still hope the other piece is on the back. This set also has a Naya minifigure. That opens an opportunity to make a Naya's Elemental Mech. In 2nd place is Cole's Elemental Earth Mech. This also surprised me as I know this is my favorite. The mech has good design and unique vibe with its stout stance and bulky proportions. Modifying the set will be easy as you won't have problems in using big joints as elbows and knees too much due to its proportions. This will be my go-to set if I have a tight budget and can only buy one. My top mech set is Kai's Elemental Fire Mech. The design of the mech is really good. I tried to build it in preparation of making elbows and knees. I wasn't able to reproduce 100% but it already looked awesome. In my opinion, the color scheme helps to make it easier to modify compared to Cole's mech. I also preferred the weapon included in the set. The second mech can easily be upgraded and make it a more capable opponent for Kai. The set included Zane's minifigure. Same perspective with Naya minifigure that came with Lloyd's mech set. It is more expensive but the additional pieces and minifigure help to justify the price in my perspective. All of these are my personal opinions. I hope I gave you some things to consider when selecting your set. Part 2 of this video, I'll show you some of the modifications I made that I want to try for the mech sets. I didn't have matching colors of each piece, but I hope it helps you follow the builds better. I use Kai's mech as reference as it's the basic design among all mech. All of these are just samples to give you ideas on how you'll modify your mech. This build uses mixel joints for the elbow. Try some of your pieces first that can replace some of the pieces I used and see if those work for you. I used the turntable pieces as a thin plate to secure some parts without making the arm thicker. It also gives a mechanical vibe. You don't need the small brackets as the plate hold together securely. This is just another way to widen the elbow and could suit Cole's mech better. For the forearms, I tried to keep the original hand design and focus more on how to connect the elbow. I didn't have the plate with Technic hole. I just used a normal 2x2 plate. You can exchange the brick with stud hole with another brick that has an axle connection or a plate with toe ball and 2 other plates. The new arm is a bit longer compared to the original. I just imagined it would be the same length if the original arm was straight. The modified arm can be bent more than 90 degrees for more action poses. Due to the mixel joints, it has a wrist swivel too. The extra axle joint will be for the flame effect. The second elbow uses clips and T-bars. I tried a different way to attach the elbow to the bicep. This made the arm shorter by 1 stud compared to the first elbow design. The elbow has the same structure as the first design with the difference that this uses plates with clips instead of mixel joints. The forearm is the same from the previous build. You could use another brick with an axle hole if you don't have the brick I used to connect the elbow to the forearm. The length of the modified arm is nearly the same as the original. It still has great range of articulation, but the T-bars can easily pop out of the clips compared to mixel joints. The third design is a combination of both version 1 and version 2. You can use this if you don't have enough mixel joints or T-bars. The brick I used has a stud on each side. This allows you to add more details to the joint like different colors or make it more wider. I used 1x2 plates with mixel joints for the forearm. To make the mixel joint face upward, I use a bracket that secured it with an unusual design. I joined 2 1x2 brackets with a 2x2 tile. I attached it to the forearm using a 1x2 brick with a hole and a turntable. The new arm is longer due to the elbow needs a 1 stud long space to attach to the bicep. It could be shorter if I did the same connection from the previous version. The elbow itself also is nearly 3 stud long. You can shorten this by swinging the clips to the front rather than those pointed upward. This is the first knee design I tried. It's supposed to be the same length of the original if it was straight. I used T-bars and clips. I still used the turntable plates to make it more slender. I kept the thigh design near the original. I used 1x2 rounded plates to secure the T-bars. This also lets me add more details to the knee by using the stud holes. I used 1x1 plates with clip to connect the knee to the lower leg. I also used clips to mount the new armor piece to the leg. I just made this generic foot with the same height of the original. I removed the bar behind the ankle joint to give it more range, but it can cause less stability on some poses. It can imitate the original leg. It has great range, but it can't support the mech alone. Knee version 2 is a bit similar to version 1. I used the bar 1L with 1x1 round plate as the joint. I tied to make the knee 1 stud tall. I used wedge plates to give the leg some form of muscles in the back of the knees. I used brackets and tiles to secure the knee. This design also lets you widen the knee or give it more details. This build is 1 stud shorter than the previous version. It still has great articulation and can support the base mech design. Though I won't expect it to support a fully armed mech alone. This version is good for adding details to the knees if you're not using the armor pieces on it. Version 3 uses the Technic ball joint and socket. You can also use inverted tiles for the inner thighs to make it look smoother. I positioned the Technic socket horizontally to avoid making the leg too long. I used a 1x1 brick with an axle bar as a mount for the armor plate. I used a 1x2 brick that has half beam side extensions with axle hold to hold the ball joint. This also makes the leg shorter rather than using a normal Technic ball joint. I used more brackets to secure the bricks. This also adds a bit of width by adding slopes to the side the lower legs and make it look stronger. It has the same height of the original but is a lot stronger than the previous versions. It has great range of movement and can hold a pose pretty well. If you want to mount the armor piece on the lower leg, remove the axle hole on the bottom of the thigh. Replace the 2x2 tile on the lower leg with clips to mount the armor piece there. The last knee I'm gonna show you guys uses the ratchet joint. I used the Lego piece 80431. It's the brick that has rotation joint socket. It's a bit tall, so I secured it with a slope curve plate to the hip armor. For the lower leg, I used brackets to secure the joint bricks together. I added a mixel joint with axle as the mount of the armor piece. You can use any plate or tile for the side of the lower legs. I used the wedge plate and curved slopes to give it calves. Due to how I made the lower leg, I angled it to make the leg look straight and proportional. It's shorter than the original leg. About a stud shorter, I think. It still has good articulation and can support the mech better. I also made a sample backpack. I imagined if Sora's elemental tech mech had the boosters on its back. I used the SCCBS armor piece as the main body of the booster, but I think the new armor piece could be better as it's wider. I used wedge plates to give the back armor details. I like the way the inverted slope curve pieces help to incorporate the backpack to the mech. I used mixel joints to give the boosters articulation for action poses. I added more wedge pieces for the waist. Just remove the 2x2 plate and bracket pieces to make the backpack compatible to the other mech. The backpack completes the look of the mech in my opinion. Also adds more gimmick to the set. The SCCBS legs can still support the build. Maybe it's because of budget reasons that they didn't included backpacks. This is a sample build using the modifications that I like the most with a bit of changes to give you guys more ideas. I do understand why LEGO went with the SCCBS limbs. It gives a more enjoyable playing experience and helps to lessen falling pieces when kids swap parts and weapons. For me, it's an opportunity to tinker with the mech more and add my style to it. I like the upcoming sets not because of all the mech sets but the new elements LEGO introduced. I hope that LEGO won't hold back with mech sets after this set and still make a couple mech sets with new or rare pieces. The battle pack has potential to help fans buy more grunt minifigures and accessories. They could also introduce grunt units for the good guys. I hope that this video helped you guys with your builds. I know it's a bit long and I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching my video and happy holidays.